We're going to talk about transitioning into business and what that might look like and how that might feel if we're leaving specifically a caregiving type role. But I don't want to limit it to caregiving, and here's why. My experience has been over the last 30 years that everybody I meet inside of healthcare has what we call a servant heart. Whether we are in housekeeping or dietary or maintenance or a nurse or an aide or an administrator or a billing supervisor or a claims adjudicator. I don't know what it is about the industry, but it really does attract those of us who want to help people. Just at the core of who we are, we want to help people. Can you hear Verdell crying to get out of the office right now? No? Okay, then I'm not going to do anything. All right. So I don't know what that is about the industry. It really does seem to call those of us who want to serve and to help people, generally speaking, in the core of who we are. And as a result, we see a lot of people making this transition into independent patient advocacy with the servant heart, which at first glance doesn't, you hear him now, don't you? I see the face. So Verdell, I need you to stop talking. Okay. So those of us that have this innate feeling of helping people, sometimes we have a really hard time matching that with sales and marketing and asking for money and all of the things that business and owning our own business come with. It can be a really hard transition to make. And so I really wanted to talk about that and give some ideas on how to overcome it, how to manage it. So some of the questions that I see coming up in regards to this transition are things like, how do I transition from caregiving to running a business? Really, a lot I hear, what are the most effective marketing strategies for patient advocacy? And then how can I ensure sustainability and profitability in my practice? So those are the three things that I really want to talk about today and give you some good actionable items that you can take away that might help you answer that for yourself in your business. So for those of you that are new, that may not know who I am, my name is Nicole Broadhurst. I'm a former healthcare administrator turned independent patient advocate, CEO of Tennessee Health Advocates and founder of The Circle, where I help independent patient advocates create sustainable and profitable practices without the chaos of entrepreneurship. So if you're ready to talk about these questions, you're in the right place. Let's go ahead and get into it. Get your paper and pen so you can take notes. Drop the questions in the chat. I promise we're going to get to them at the end. But without any further ado, let's jump right in. So the question of how do I transition from hands-on caregiving to running a successful business? So this transition and this primary fundamental shift from being primarily focused on patient care or helping of people into managing the operations, marketing, and growth strategies, which are all essential for creating a thriving practice, can be really hard. So we're going to break it down to the three top things that I can tell you that will help you make that transition. The first one is to define your niche. Identify what specific skill set you bring to the table that patients and families need. Okay. Because there is something like that. There is something in your experience, in your wisdom, in your previous lifetime. There's a skill set that's very specific that over and over and over, patients and or families have called on you to help them with. I've learned that really, I don't have to try and figure out what my niche is. The world's going to tell me. My clients tell me. You all tell me. My job is to really listen, right? And pay attention. I'm going through this right now and just having to listen. So if you don't know what your niche is, spend some time in some conversations with other advocates that you know that you like, that you trust, and get real with them and ask them, what do you think is my specialty? When you think of me, what words do you associate with me and what I do? Right? Take inventory of this. Listen. People are telling you all the time what it is that they value about you, what it is that you bring to the world, and they're telling you what your niche is. So, define your niche, identify what that is. Okay. The second thing that you can do to help make this transition a little bit easier is invest in some business skills. Okay. So if you know that you are coming to this with no experience in business operations or marketing or relationship management or whatever those things are, then again, a lot of this is get real with yourself. Be honest. What is it that I'm missing that I know I need? And go find it. Now, when I say invest, sometimes that means money. Sometimes it means time and effort, right? So there are free resources out there for all sorts of support. Specifically speaking, I'm going to say don't forget about SCORE. Great mentorship, great resources, great things are available out there. So maybe it's not investing money, maybe it's investing time. But whatever it is, find where you're lacking and don't be afraid to invest in obtaining the services, the support, the guidance, the resources that you need in order to make up for what you don't have. Okay. I've shared before, I literally invested in a business coach before I had a client. I knew that I did not come from the world of entrepreneurship. I had not the first idea of how to run a business for myself. And so don't be afraid to invest in the areas that you know you need support. Okay. The third thing is create some sort of business plan. Now, I don't want this to become a barrier to getting your business off the ground. Because if you're like me, I have this whole tendency to get into analysis paralysis and feeling like, oh, if I don't have the perfect business plan in place, then I'm not ready. And that is not true. Okay, I literally am celebrating 5 years this month. Okay, and what I can tell you over the 5 years is my business plan changes regularly. All right, if I were to pull out the business plan that I put together in 2019, actually in 2018, as I was preparing to launch in 2019, in fact, I probably should do that just to see, because I can tell you that it is nothing at all like what my business looked like today, even remotely close. And if I pull out today's plan in 5 years from now, guess what? Probably not going to look the same. Probably not. It will. I mean, maybe I'm finding something that is working and is going to work for a long, long time. Maybe not. Maybe it'll change and evolve. I don't know. The point is, create something, right? Have some sort of plan. If we, what is the saying? If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. So have some sort of plan, some sort of direction so that you can execute and feel like you're moving in some sort of good direction towards your business. Okay. So those are the first three things that I want to say about transitioning from some sort of helping profession into a successful business, being able to run a successful business. The second question that I get really frequently is about marketing. And there are literally, y'all, there are hours and hours of video inside the Circle platform talking about marketing. Okay, so there's no reason for you to not have the support you need in regards to marketing, but I did narrow it into 3 things that I want to share with you right now about making this transition and what marketing things you need to know about in order to be successful in this transition. Nobody is going to be surprised that I'm going to say, one, network, build your network, and create some sort of supportive community around yourself. Now, this can be inside of the healthcare industry, it can be conferences, it can be seminars, it can be, shoot, if you want to do it in the SBA, I have a member of the inner circle that did it with the, oh shoot, it wasn't the Kiwanis Club. It was the Rotary, her local Rotary, literally built her marketing strategy around her Rotary activities, and it works. So do all of the networking things. If that doesn't, I also have an inner circle member who networking is just not their jam. Like it doesn't align with her personality and the way that she does things. And so literally she's creating a marketing strategy, a paid marketing strategy, which if you've been around, you know that I personally don't subscribe to that, but I don't need to either. I've executed a marketing strategy that works. So figure out what that is for you. And like I said, there's hours of content on that. Go watch it. Do hashtag marketing inside of the circle. You'll get plenty of resources. The second thing I want to say is build some sort of online presence. Now, we're not going to get into the whole social media thing. We're not going to talk about all of that, but make sure, this is the key, and this is the crux to this piece. Make sure that when somebody does look you up online, that they're going to find you and that you're going to be illustrated in a positive light. You're going to be trustworthy. You're going to be showing up professionally. You're going to, that, you know, when they do this, when they look you up, that there's some sort of validation, right, that supports you being who you are and doing what you do. Something. Okay. Doesn't matter what, something online, because it just adds to your credibility. And then the last thing is figure out what you're going to offer for free. Okay. Everybody offers something for free. There's got to be something that you can bring, whether it's a, you know, in the marketing world, they call it a lead magnet. But basically, what it is it's a resource that you utilize and leverage to demonstrate your skill set. Okay. Maybe it's a PDF checklist. Maybe it's a spreadsheet. Maybe it's, you know, a blog. Maybe it's an ebook. Maybe it's, anyway, whatever it is, do some research, figure out what is going to be, what is your free resource that you're going to offer the world that's going to get them to buy in to the level of skill that you actually provide. And it does need to relate to whatever that niche skill is that you uniquely bring to the advocacy world. Okay. All right. So the third thing to make this transition is about sustainability and profitability in your practice. Hugely paramount, right? Like we've got to seek guidance on setting competitive rates and pricing and managing our expenses and how we scale our services and how we implement operational systems for long-term success. What does that mean? What does that look like, right? I like to say, I literally, this is no joke, like the very first thing that I did on this side of my business was figure out how much money I wanted to make. Like what is the financial requirement for my business? What does that look like? So that I could reverse engineer into my pricing structure and know exactly how many sales I was going to need to make to hit my financial goal. So the message there is have some clarity around your financial goals, right? Set targets. Based on those targets, set budgets, right? Identify things that are non-negotiable that you actually have to have in order to have your business. What is what is the initial investment you're going to need to make? I know that the resources that I used 5 years ago were all of Trisha Torrey's books. She's got 3 books out there, and I know she's updated 2 of the 3. I can't remember, I think it was the first one that really gave a good financial breakdown on how to structure and know exactly how much money you need to start your practice and sustain yourself for a period of time, and how to do all of that calculation. So get something, right? Like find something from SCORE or SBA, or go get Trisha's books. Do something to help you identify, because if we don't plan for that stuff, then we might get 6 months in and be like, okay, I can't sustain this, and we don't want you to have that problem. All right, so set some clear financial goals. All right. The second thing you can do to ensure sustainability and profitability is streamline your processes. So I'm also doing this right now. Actually, I'm going to show you right off the top of my, I literally just reached over and grabbed my client journey. And you will see that there's red marks on my client journey, because actually one of the things that I'm actively doing right now is trying to streamline some of my operations, because I'm spending a lot of time doing repetitive things that I need to either develop a template for, or I need to figure out how to spend less time in these particular places in my client journey. And if you don't have your client journey documented, you can start there. That might be a good place to start. So streamline your processes. Make sure, we talk a lot about being a calendar ninja, and how really, like, I, I am about my calendar. This kind of falls into the same place, right? Like, get really specific about where you spend your time, and make sure you're being as efficient as possible. So streamline some of your operational processes. Spend some time in that. And I think in healthcare, yeah, we like to call that process improvement, right? Everybody, we've all heard that before. All right, process improvement, streamline those processes, right? And then third, this is one of the most powerful things can tell you about being sustainable and profitable. Focus on client retention. Okay. Build a client relationship for life. This is not a one and done. This is not a churn and burn. This is about cultivating strong relationships with your clients, providing exceptional service, personalized attention, and ongoing support. This, in the world of marketing, is what they call brand loyalty. And don't think that, oh, I'm just getting started, I don't need to worry about this. Firsthand experience is this. If you do this and you focus on this and you create brand loyalty, literally you will have clients for life. Because when your clients no longer need you, they are still out there telling the world about you. Some of my worst regrets about my early days are those leads and those people that I spoke to that I lost their contact information. Because I didn't have a system in place to track it. I had I had a legal notepad that I kept notes on, and I would rip off the sheet. And if that information didn't get like, it was just gone. And what I know now is that my very, very first client in 2019, I still talk to her every quarter. Her husband has passed away. She no longer pays me, and I reach out to her every single quarter. I know about her son in London. I know about his job. I know that he was recently promoted and that she got to fly over and be part of the ceremony and all of the things. She didn't pay me a nickel. But I know that if she needs something, I got a Christmas card from her. Like, we're pals. Like, I am invested in her, right? This is no longer just about a business and making money. This is about Miss Catherine. This is about the relationship, right? And I know that no matter what, if anything happens and she needs help, I'm on her speed dial. This is the thing, right? Develop client relationships for life. This is why, and we talk about this too, about choosing clients and going through a vetting process. Go back and look at all of hashtag sales in the search bar on the platform. We'll pull up all of the hours that we've talked about sales and how to do that and what that looks like. This is why choosing your clients is super important. I don't want to have to work to be friends with you. Like, I want to be friends, right? And if I'm working with people that I actually want to be friends with, it makes my life a whole lot easier. So make life easy. All right. So those are the three things that I wanted to make sure we shared. The defining your niche, investing in business skills, creating a business plan in order to make that transition as painless as possible. It may be painful, and that's okay. Some effective marketing strategies. We talked about online presence, networking, offering free resources, and then sustainability and profitability. Talked about financial goals, streamlining your operations, and focusing on client retention. You know, as I'm doing this, you guys, I'm finding myself finding the 4 pillars of what we do here in the circle, right? You know, personal relationships, marketing, sales, operational excellence. Those, if you literally look through all the hours of the time that we've spent together, those are the 4 places we spend most of our time.